Oh, I may have already clicked
Oh,
it.
there we go.
Let's
Uh,
go. Let's just get right into it.
Prepare to qualify and stuff.
So, anyways, National Bra Day is the
Um,
name of
I'm
this
your
show.
I'm your not host Sam.
I'm a host. Hi, how you going?
How you going today?
I'm hosting today. My name is Mike Rochip. I've already used that before though. Um, yeah. So this is a semi-useless show, and we're getting right into the old. Oh, wait a minute. That's Jesse. Hang on a minute here. Uh, Jesse. Jesse says
Who the hell was that just texted me?
it says date night. So Jesse's on a date.
All right.
All right. Hey, let me give you an update. So far, we've got um, Larry's not going to be on the show because he's never on the show. He's once
Yeah.
or twice.
And plus, I started sending an email to him, and then it just didn't. It failed. So I was like, well, that was destined to be.
Jesse texts that it's date night, which in our show is every Tuesday. So if Tuesday's date night, he might never be on the show again. And Jimmy's sick again, so he might never be on the show again because he's just sick every show.
Yeah.
And Sam's sick, but there'd be no show without Sam because he needed to get me on the show. So here I am.
Michael might be on. We'll see.
Well, anyways, I use my host name as Mike Rochip because Daniel the Demon's stream,
Yeah.
he keeps saying that every time I get on there, I log in as Cosmic Arc, and he's like, Cosmic Arc, Mike Rochip, because of the one show that he was on.
Oh, okay. That was your name for that show.
He thought it was pretty funny, and then every time he says it on his stream, Nicole laughs because for some reason the way he says it, it's hilarious. So, well, everything he says is pretty funny. He's very character oriented on the stream, but yeah. So, anyways, the show is titled No Bra Day. But what was it again? No bras, just bros.
It's titled National No Bra Day, but the slogan is "No bras, just bros." And
Bros.
so far, that's true.
Is that their slogan or is that our slogan?
That's our slogan for the show. Yeah.
Oh,
The
okay.
show. It's in
All
the
right.
description.
Oh, that's pretty clever. All right. Let's see how else clever we can get. Well, I did look up some stuff because I was a little bit unprepared, but hey, you got to do a show, so you got to look some stuff up.
Yeah.
Well, anyways, going back to Daniel the Demon, he was playing. This is going to be video game news. Bum 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 bum. Video game news song. Total news.
That's what it sounded like.
There you go. Yeah.
It sounded like the Mario 2.
It's a Mario 2
character selection. Yeah.
Well, anyways, he was playing Battlefront. I noticed he was playing Battlefront. Now it's not.
Yep.
Well, it's not officially out right now, though, right?
No, it's a beta.
Yeah. Okay, it's a beta. I was going to say alpha, but no, that would be wrong.
Yeah.
It's a beta. So obviously, I could get it too. I haven't gotten it yet.
It's over tomorrow.
Oh, so is it just officially released tomorrow?
No, it's just not. It's just the beta's over tomorrow, and they're officially releasing it in the future.
This is a teaser. Okay.
So, yeah, it's supposed to be over 2 days ago, but they extended it for 2 days.
Good move.
Yeah. So far it's pretty good. They're obviously already starting with the whole pay an extra $50 for the season pass thing. Of course, you just can't get everything for $60 anymore.
Yeah. So that just confirms that I thought it was like Battlefield. Exactly. I mean, they're doing the same thing. It is Origin, right? EA
and Origin made by DICE too. But the game actually doesn't play a lot like Battlefield. It actually is kind of
feels different. From what you heard.
I played it, so.
Oh, you have played it?
Yeah, I played it. It's.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I played it. No, it feels. It's not. You have laser guns, and it's easier to get headshots and stuff. It's not like Battlefield at all. You can't prone and stuff like that. I mean, you don't really expect that kind of that game, but.
Do you think they made it fun to play for people of all ages, like younger? Well, I can't say really kids. Like the kids could wreck me, and
kids would be like,
"What the hell?" If they play the game. Yeah. Well, you think because
I don't know because they're coming out with new ones now.
Yeah, I mean they do. What was the cartoon? Was it Clone Wars or something like that?
Yeah, there's Clone Wars.
Yeah,
so yeah there's that.
So that was supposed to keep kids and adults alike. I mean, because it is Star Wars and people grew up with it. And
yeah,
when I say people, I must be referring to everybody but me because I didn't grow up as a Star Wars fan. So I really don't have much to talk about except that I could only compare the game to, and I do appreciate the Star Wars games in the past, LucasArts stuff and things like that. They were actually pretty innovative for the time, but they fall the wayside of almost like as far as resale value on most of them. They're more than, I mean, if one were to sell like a collection by having a collection of video games that were Star Wars oriented, I don't see them being much more valuable than old sports games because you figured Star Wars.
Not even Rogue Squadron?
Well, Rogue Squadron, I don't know. I have no idea. All
I
I
don't
know
know,
is
it's
that I still love
N64,
that
so
game.
a lot of N64 stuff's just like, it's no.
It seems like that a lot of N64 stuff that people grew up with and played kind of actually represents like a newer nostalgia. I don't want to say newer, but like for me, like nostalgia for me obviously is NES and Atari was before my time, so I didn't really grow up playing it. I had an NES before I had an Atari. Hey, let's see what the old school games are like.
Yeah.
It's like you're playing what's in your time, and then you're like, I'm gonna go retro because you found it. Dad found it at a yard sale or something. You know,
I played that very same Atari too.
big box full of games. You
Yeah,
know,
I remember it.
it's like, how much you want for the games?
If anybody doesn't know, we're brothers.
A penny, just a penny for a whole box full of Atari games.
Yeah. But anyway, yeah. As far as
This was all before eBay, obviously.
before eBay and such.
The electronic bay.
Electronic bay. Electronic mail.
So
Electronic celebrity. So yeah, it's I'll just talk briefly about it because there's not too much to talk about because
it's not done.
It's not done. There's two maps with different game modes. Like there's one map with one game mode and there's another map with another game mode.
Now you have a nasally voice. Are you saying game modes or gay modes? Because it keeps sounding like
gay modo.
Because you got
Quasimodo.
You're sick a little, so I know that
you
can't really pronounce.
No.
Yeah, okay.
That's sick. What am I gonna say?
You got something caught in your throat, so everything's gay mode. You got a frog in your throat.
I caught the gay.
You caught the Michigan J gay frog in your throat.
Frogger in my throat. Frogger for Atari.
Oh God! You know what really sucked for the Atari was Pac-Man. Come to find out,
yeah, I know. Everybody hates Pac-Man for Atari.
It's pretty bad. I mean,
and then they made another version. Yeah, and they made like another version for like Atari 5200 or that's 7200.
Yes.
And then that one sucked too. Supposedly, it's just not even close to the arcade at all.
Yeah, the 2600 was good machine. Few games on there that I actually liked. Yeah, that's the one that's
2600, then 5200, then 7200. There's so many.
Yeah. 2600 was the Pac-Man version that I didn't like because it was blocks instead of cubes and it was slow. And yeah, sure, it was still Pac-Man, but
everyone hated it. So
yeah, it was real bad. And the thing is when you're when you have other systems like you had the NES and stuff like that, and then you go backwards to go play Pac-Man, you assume it's going to be like what you've seen in the arcade, and it's nothing like that. Just nothing's going to be better than that tabletop. Hang on one second. My dog was barking.
Okay, that stops it.
He was disagreeing with me.
You mean the tabletop Pac-Man?
Pac-Man, Miss Pac-Man with the option of going.
Miss Pac-Man, of course. Yeah, it's better. That's the first start. Is that Atari didn't have Miss Pac-Man, so.
Right, that was a bad thing because the bow would have been the shape of a rectangle.
You know, it's so different that I wouldn't even consider it like a port. It's like just a totally different game. Like that was true for a lot of arcade games, the consoles back then. Like even Battletoads, like totally different games. I mean, it's one of the best looking NES games, but still not as good as arcade, of course.
Right.
But that's up to Doug. It's not really that loud, believe it or not. The barking, it's not that big of a deal.
Oh, okay. I figured it was making the show more entertaining.
But yeah, the whole Battlefront thing, it's pretty good. There's like one map in game mode that's kind of just like, you go around, capture these things, and you shoot each other. But then the other one has like the walkers and stuff, like vehicles and shit, and you can fly around, and that one's fun.
I described it as creamy. Like when I watched Daniel play it.
Oh, you watched
this? Yeah, I've seen it, and
it's
it
the
was
snow. It's hot, right?
Well, I think that one was Hoth. Isn't there two though?
There's two maps on. There's the other one, and then there's Hoth.
Okay.
Hoth is one with the walkers and the snow and everything.
Yeah, which obviously would
all the games. Cooler. the game's based on the original trilogy, I believe.
Oh,
But
nice.
yeah, so
It
it's not
sounded
like,
like it, music wise.
I mean, like you think that I don't know, you think that they'd be like Disney would be, because well, Disney owns Star Wars now, so you think Disney would be like, yes, we would like this to kind of be based on the new movies a little bit to promote them, but so far it's just like the original trilogy. That's it. Not even the prequels or whatever. Because I think it's December is when the new Star Wars comes out. So
Yeah, Battlefront looked.
where's Larry to talk about this?
Yeah, I know. Where is
I
he?
know.
Larry, where are you? All I have to say is if it doesn't work, good shot, kid.
Yeah, you know, it still doesn't have prone, so it's like, it's not Battlefield.
True.
It's
if it doesn't have prone, then I'm definitely not interested. And now that you say that, I don't remember anybody. It was just, I guess maybe that's why it was action packed the way it was.
Yeah.
All you have to do before you release a game is make sure there's no prone in it, and then just say there is going to be, and then that way it picks up the hype because no one can lay around.
Yeah. I would get it if it wasn't $60, and it's going to be like $90 to get the whole game. So it's just, I'm going to wait till it's cheaper probably. I don't know.
You said you wouldn't get it if it was $60.
I don't think it's worth $60. Yeah,
this button is going to be 90.
I had to see more, and to get everything, it's going to be like 90 basically. So maybe if Larry gets it, I don't know. We'll see. I mean, if Larry wants to play it. So.
Yeah,
but it's definitely a good game in the making. As far as I could tell, this is actually the third in the series. You know, it's just called Star Wars Battlefront. All right, we've been on that topic for a while. I want to go to your bra topic.
Bras. Here's the thing: is it's National Bra Day, and I'm not, or National No Bra Day, and I'm not wearing one anyway, so I'm participating.
Yeah.
I also support no support. So, you know, I mean, because there's like, yeah, ladies got to wear that, and then as they get older, they need the support because supposedly as they get older, they don't sag. I personally think that's a myth. I think they're going to sag no matter what, whether you have support or not. So I say, while they look really, really good, you shouldn't wear a bra. I say don't do it because they're told that they're supposed to because they might sag around later on. They're going to anyways. So I say make it better for everybody and just go no bra if you got a good rack. And I mean, I don't know if this is the premise of this whole thing, but of why they do it. All I get out of it is if there's going to be no bra and there's going to be a rack, if they're good, just let them hang, man. They're going to hang no matter what, whether they're big, whether they're small. That's gravity. They're going to hang. And just do it. Support, no support.
Now, is this how long has this holiday been around?
I have no idea. You ever notice that when you hear about things, sometimes they make a big deal about it. It's the first time you hear about it, and it's like, oh, it's some fourth national broad, you know, I mean, national. It's like annual, like it happens every year, and I'm like, no, maybe it just now got big out of nowhere, but really it's already been done in the past. I mean, Woodstock, that was National No Bra Day to me. Burn those things.
That's really good.
It's unnecessary. And here's the thing: is you're super sick. I feel so bad that you're.
No, I'm all right. I just got a tingle in the nose.
Nah. You're getting me sick through the camera. Live Viruses by Sam. So, anyways, National No Bra Day. I think I'm gonna take a nap. You do the rest of the show. Here's the thing with the bras is this. Did you ever notice that, all right, if somebody does a throwback era and they're real good, throwback era series or movie and they're real good at it, they probably use the bras from back then too, because the boobs have a certain shape to them while they're wearing them, you know, whatever it is, whatever the garb is when they dress out for the movie or the series, like with Mad Men and stuff like that. There's a certain type of look, certain type of style. It goes all the way back to the bra. It goes under the undergarment, you know?
Yeah.
And I say that the 50s and 60s bras were more of a banana boat style. I mean, like, they had them kind of torpedo up a little bit. There was actually, like, if you see videos or whatever, like amateur, well, not amateur, well, just regular porno, because, you know, which would be old school. It's not regular now. But old school porns, they didn't have the I'm talking about way old school, where
Yeah,
there's no boob jobs or nothing, no breast implants or anything like that. So what you'd see
every guy
in
had a
that,
mustache.
every guy had a mustache. I mean, that was National Porn Mustache Year. It was just that year and those years back then. It was porn mustache and banana boat boob bra, because when those, it's National Bra Day, so I'm gonna just extend the conversation into it.
Go for it.
When those puppies are released back then, they were natural, they were great, but they were kind of in the shape of a banana, and I blame that on the bra. I think the bra was actually a bad thing back then, because it supports but also shapes. So no matter what it was, it would be that shape of however it's supported, which was completely different back then. So today it looks a little bit different. I think that they've the technology in bra making has been a lot better.
Yeah.
But I still say go without it, because I would rather have a no bra, shirt comes off, they're right there for you, than the old school bra, shirt comes off, bra comes off, and then you got two unpeeled bananas looking at you. Like, it's just so weird. Back then, nobody cared. All a boy cared about back then was getting laid. So he didn't care what shape they were. He thought those were the shapes they were supposed to be. But if you look at the 1950s, 1960s bras and what a woman looked like naked back then, those things went whoop up like that. And I'm not saying that women's breasts were not like that back then, or can even still be like that today. You still see them today, which is strange. I don't know what thrift shop they're getting their bras from. Maybe they do grow in naturally like that. But what do you think? I mean, I think it forms. They form to what it is. And I
think they still form today. We have no idea what they're supposed to look like anymore.
Maybe we don't know. I mean, National Geographic probably gives you a pretty good idea. Semi-pancaked at the top, kind of goes out big, possibly voluptuous at the bottom.
The kind they could show on, like, any channel, because they're...
Right, because they're running around and it's
anyway.
And you look at them, and really, if you take a good look at it, they're not all that bad. But the thing is they're usually on the older ladies. They show them in the tribes and stuff like that. So they're past a certain age to where, like my point was before, they're going to hang anyways.
Yeah.
You know, even if they had bras, those things are still. It sounds like I'm being insensitive to the topic, but I'm not the one that named National No Bra Day, and it's a thing, and I'm just putting my 2 cents on it. My two nipples on there.
Huh.
Yeah.
Insensitive? You mean like what? You're being sexist or something?
Yeah. No, on this show, no.
No.
Actually, you know what though? We do a pretty good job of not being sexist. We try to provide some entertainment out there. One day women might actually watch the show.
Yeah.
You know, that would be nice.
This is a man-only show. I like the Dr. Pepper.
Hello?
I like the Dr. Pepper commercials that were just like, for a while, it's just like, it's not for women or something like that. It's just like totally like, oh, ironically, it's like, Dr. Pepper, it's not for women or something like that. I don't remember. There's like a short-lived advertising campaign, or someone complained about it.
Yeah, it's like, how do you have a good product and then you just take away like half of your market or more than half of your market?
Yeah, but if they thought it was funny, then if I was a woman, first of all, if I was a woman with a bra, I'd make sure hooks in the front. Second of all, I'd like the Dr. Pepper commercial.
Michael!
What's up, guys?
What's up?
What was the Dr. Pepper commercial? I don't think I saw it.
For a while, they're doing one that's just like Dr. Pepper. It's not for women or something like that.
Yeah.
Or just for men or something like that, yeah. I'm just wondering if anybody took offense to that or something.
I don't know if anybody took offense to it, but I never really got the marketing behind that. Unless the only thing I think of is they just kind of thought that like women drink what they drink and men can be coerced more. So target men and women are going to do what they're going to do.
Yeah.
Yeah, didn't they do the one, like, they tried, I understand going the route of trying to make Dr. Pepper more manly, but that was, like, a different Dr. Pepper, right? Like, didn't they do like
thing? 7 Taste or something, like.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think so. I think it was something different.
it's like lumberjacks and stuff in the
Yeah.
Bird brought in the. I think it seemed like it would be a beer commercial or something, but it was for Dr. Pepper.
Right.
And that's so crazy because I consider what's the story behind Dr. Pepper, Sam? It is Coke owned, right? It's not between Pepsi and Coke, right?
7-Up and
I'm thinking Sprite.
Dr. Pepper, 7-Up, Orange Crush, I think.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then essentially everything else that's not like, Fanta or everything else is either Coke or Pepsi.
Yep. Pretty much. They are distributed. Depends on where they are, but like, obviously you can tell they look like Pepsi bottles here sometimes. So I think Pepsi has something to do with their bottling. So they got like a contract with them. But then in Europe, it's actually straight up Coke. Like Coke distributes it and everything, but it's not owned by Coke. But it's just like they have a contract in Europe. Yeah. And here it's kind of Pepsi. You can kind of tell it's Pepsi. I don't know.
Yeah, you'd be surprised. There's a lot fewer like bottler distributors than you think there are. Like a lot of places, a lot of beers are just bottled in the same place. Like a lot of stuff like that happens that people don't really know about. There, like I said, there's very few distributors.
Yeah.
Kind of makes sense. I mean, it's like that in a lot of businesses. Like bigger guys will buy each other out. So if Pepsi buys a company that wanted to get bought out by Coke, or Coke was looking at them, Pepsi could actually buy them out, bottle it, and whether the company wanted to go with Coke or Pepsi or not, they're looking for one of the two big ones to get their product bottled and distributed out there. And even if it was going to be a competition, like let's say the company did good for themselves and they wanted to sell out to Coke, Pepsi ends up buying them out, but they do so good by being not really a Pepsi product that Pepsi probably wouldn't even want their name on it. You know what I mean? Like, it's still an alternative. They're so
independent.
Big. Yeah, to give it that independent feel. Kind of like with craft brewing, how bigger brewing companies would rather probably not want people to know that they're bottling the product. I would imagine.
Yeah, I think there's some truth there. I mean, I think more people, like, let's take like Blue Moon, because I know they were bought by, I think, Coors or something. Like, if you were to ask the average person, are you more or less likely to drink Blue Moon because you knew it was made by Coors, and take out indifference, say you had to pick, I think more people would say they wouldn't drink it than would. So I agree with you that, knowing that is not necessarily a bonus, which is a total mind frame change, because I feel like, 10 plus years ago, people are more likely to buy stuff because it's made by a bigger company. Like if it was, made by Walmart or made by Coke or made by Labatt Blue, like people were more likely like, oh, it's a name brand thing. I know that. I'm safe. I'm comfortable with that. Let's buy that. Where now people have gone more off the mainstream and they're more apt to buy stuff that they don't know the manufacturer.
Yeah, and it's not like they're willing to take a risk anymore either, because it's not like they're not willing to take a risk. You could have a beer vendor that you could go to a beer tasting or something, and you could have a beer vendor that is literally around the corner from the tasting, and people will want to try that real quick. But if that same guy set up shop and he was around the corner in their bar and there was only Michelob Light, Bud Light, Budweiser, and they have a setup to where this beer dude has his around the corner shit, most people probably wouldn't have tried it back then.
Yeah.
They probably would have been scared.
Right. I'm wondering if some of that is people are more comfortable with stuff because of regulation, where 15 years ago, something like Coke was more regulated, and I'm not necessarily in terms of like, the fat content or the high sugar or, the general bad stuff that's in there that's still in there today, but just like the bottling procedures and, there being like a finger in there, because like Pepsi 10 years ago had more to lose. So like even 15, 20, 30 years ago, like when stuff wasn't as regulated, and I'm just kind of making this up, I don't know if it's necessarily true or not, but that when things weren't as regulated, those bigger companies had more to lose, so they were more apt to kind of, make sure their processes worked. But now that everything's so regulated, you can be more comfortable with smaller products. And again, I don't know if that's true or not, but that's just my feeling.
Makes sense. It does make sense, though. I think people probably think that way too a lot. And I think a lot of it does still have to do with technology today and like social media and things like that because a small company can get so big so quick, even though they might not get bought out, they might be able to have a set of standards or know who their customer is, know who they're going to distribute to, what kind of product they can push, and with things like that, I feel that they're more worried about a quality thing because they could die even quicker than they became popular.
Because it spreads, you're saying?
Right. So
yeah, because it spreads so much faster.
They'll take that money and put it right to quality.
Right.
Maybe right to hiring people that they think that they can trust and localize it more, and the distributorship after that comes almost right away, because if they made a big name for, like, let's say, obviously in Boston it's going to be hard to do, but let's just say if we were to treat it like the music era, the music era in the 90s, like grunge scene, it's like it pertained to Seattle, right?
Yeah, definitely.
So in today's terms in beer, there's still something out there that hasn't made a name for itself as the craft brewing company, aside from ones that are already around, like with Sam Adams Brewing and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Like that's a bigger company before all the craft craze, in my opinion, around here.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So, but they still are in between that big distributorship and still can get that customer with new beers. Where Budweiser, like if they slapped, it's a Budweiser craft, no one's going to go and buy that just because.
Right.
So aside from like Boston and obviously other places around the world, that I'm not even familiar with, like I'm not real educated in it, I still think that there's a town in middle America somewhere that's going to end up having that fire that's just going to make that brew that's going to be super popular one day. It's just going to pop out of nowhere, and social media is going to make it that way. They might even be established locally where they're at.
That's. I'll tell you a quick story, and maybe you've heard of it because Jimmy talks about it sometimes. But there's this guy. He's like right on like somewhere, I think like right over the border in Vermont, like from New York. I don't know, like so. New York City's here. The Vermont border, Vermont's up here. He lives, he has a place where he makes beer right on the Vermont border, and he started out making it in his house, giving it to his friends, and then it got somewhat popular, so I think he, sold it to some local people, started doing maybe, some craft brew fest or whatever, and then it got to the point, Jimmy has this app, and it rates beers around the country, around the world, and this was the #1 rated beer on that app. So, everybody that has any real interest in craft brews knows about this, even though this guy brews I'm just making a number, but a couple hundred cases a year. So there's not that much of this out there, and people know about it even though they've never even tried it, just because of that app. Literally just because of that app. So many people know about it because it's the #1 rated thing on that app. I gotta try it. It's called Heady Topper. It was pretty good. But just because of the app that Jimmy knew about it in Florida, and me being a state away from it, I barely even knew about it. You know what I mean? And it was able to travel that fast to Jimmy all the way in Florida just because of that app, and around the country and probably to some extent around the world.
That I don't know. See, that's the thing is, would it even have worked? I don't even know if it would have worked even in the 90s like that.
Nope. I don't think it would have worked 5 years ago.
It wouldn't work whenever. I always just think of record companies and music and stuff. Even in the 90s, you needed a record company and all that to get popular. Now you can just go on YouTube and get popular. Same kind of deal.
Yep.
Happens with a lot of stuff.
Yep.
Games, music, movies.
This probably doesn't.
Beer.
Yep. True. This is a bad segue because it's an old thing that Jimmy texted me.
Yeah, the nudes for
Playboy, no more nudies. Good transition from no bra. Yeah. Is he trying to say that Playboy is not?
I looked it up real
nudes?
quick because I was planning on after done with this to go into it. Yeah, they're not gonna do any more nudes in Playboy at all. They're just gonna do suggestive poses, and that's it. Because they're saying they basically said you can go on the internet and get porn anyway. You can get yeah, so it's they're not even going to bother, so maybe they could just...
But you can go to Victoria's Secret magazine for free and get provocative pictures.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah. And well, here's the thing: is Maxim. I'm not into Maxim anymore, but I like Maxim magazine. I definitely would have always subscribed to that even more than Playboy. Playboy was that thing that you found that you didn't think you knew existed, that your father hid from you or whatever. And it was a thing when you were younger, you know. And then you strive for the hustler. Did you ever read the articles? Like, I know a lot of people. I'm not a. I wasn't interested in Playboy later on to where I even was interested in reading, really, honestly, that much. Like, it had its use when I was a kid. We were sneaking it with our friends and all that kind of stuff, reading it. And
it was more the not danger, but like, the fact that you weren't supposed to do it, being when you're younger. It was, it wasn't necessarily, like, I don't even remember any of the pictures, but I remember doing it, but I barely even remember looking at it.
Right, I don't remember any of the pictures.
More the thrill.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. That's what it was. And I do remember, actually, there was a kid when we lived around Las Vegas. There was this kid when I was a little kid that was older than me that I didn't probably my parents didn't really want me hanging out with, but he turned out to be an okay kid until this story, which actually was just being curious, so it's no big deal. But he's a little bit older than me, possibly the troublemaker of the neighborhood, let's say. So I was younger, and I had no idea about any of this stuff. And he snuck in. He didn't steal from my parents or anything, but he snuck into my parents' bedroom, went in their magazine rack down to the bottom. So this kid probably did this at his parents' house or another friend's house or whatever. He pulls out the mags that obviously, and to this day, my father would say it was his friends' mags that were left. I don't remember what friends it were, and then he buried them on the bottom, forgot they were even there. Well, this kid found him, and his name was Daniel, this kid. I don't remember what he looked like or anything. Me and him tried to dig to hell once. We tried to dig into the ground. We're like, oh, it's getting warmer, which was just the sun hitting the hole, and we're like, oh, we're almost there.
There's kids that think they're going to dig to hell. There's some that think they're going to dig to China.
Yep. China was not even close. Hell was closer for some reason for us.
It would have been technically. But.
So there was that. He almost dug me to hell.
If it existed.
He tried to dig me to hell, so of course I instantly thought he was cool. So the next thing is he's hanging out at the house. So here's what we did. He found him. He let me know. That's how cool of a friend he was. He didn't try to steal him, didn't try to bring him home. He let me know about it. We hid all of them in our room, and he actually suggested, my dad had, it was like this. Here's your magazine rack. Boxing magazines, boxing magazines, boxing magazines. Nudies were at the bottom. So we ruined my father's boxing magazines, which probably could have been collectors today, took the front covers off the boxing magazines, wrapped them around the nudie mag. So
that's really the sin there, not even just,
Oh, he went the extra mile, and he was a genius. So we put the boxing covers around it. So Mom comes to the room, knock, 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 knock. Oh, what are you guys doing? Oh, that's so cute. They're reading Daddy's boxing, which is totally violent and not cute either.
Right.
So we got away with it once, and then obviously Mom walked down the hall and was like, "Wait a minute,
my son can't read."
And I'd still get caught today for the same reasons.
You remember living in Las Vegas?
I remember very few things. Those were one of the things.
Because you were only like 3 or 4 when you moved.
I had to been. I remember this is what was real funny. I remember my mom couldn't find me, and she ended up finding me at this black kid's birthday party like 2 blocks away. Like, I was the only white kid at this birthday party. I walked to the birthday party, walked in, and they were like, oh, yeah, come on in, and having cake and everything.
We need some diversity.
We're going to start out with a little diversity in this party, see where it goes. Wait a minute, there's a white mother out there missing her child. It seemed like it was almost like a reversal type of thing, like how people say the token black kid, or maybe just white people say that.
I'm sure black people don't call anybody the token black kid, but
yeah, they wouldn't, and I don't even think they'd say the token white kid. But that's what I was that day, was the token white kid, and I didn't even bring a present. They should have kicked me out right away. I should have brought a nudie magazine wrapped in a boxing cover. But yeah, that's what that thing was. Why did I even get into nudie mags?
We were talking about that.
Jimmy told
Hustler or Playboy wasn't going to do.
Oh yeah, the whole
anymore.
right.
We were instructed by our boss to talk about it.
Yeah. Our boss also said, and here's the funny thing, is I went into Playboy thing, and really his newer text was Fat Tire was pretty big for a worker-owned company, craft brew, and I didn't do that first and then segue back.
Nice.
So I totally fucked that up. But Jimmy, you're supposed to be sick. Leave us alone.
Is he texting you? Is he watching right now and texting you stuff?
I guess
Nice.
so. Yeah.
He must be really sick.
Yeah. He's like, I'm chilling
He doesn't
and
really
watching
get
it on the
sick.
flat screen. No, he was. I actually not only was he sick, I was talking to him and it was like really bad. It was like stuff like this.
Yeah.
I rarely get sick.
Oh, that's bad.
I rarely get sick too. I am kind of now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Going
Yeah,
around.
I was going to try to give, I was going to say, Sam, also take the night off, but that's impossible because it would have been just me here until Michael got here, so that
Yeah,
wouldn't have worked.
Right. Nice.
Plus, I was actually at work today and stuff, so it's not that bad. But
At least when I keep blabbing and don't stop, there's somebody that's kind of here, so it's not as awkward. But, yeah, because you
That's
guys
all right.
break in every once in a while and make it not just a me talking show.
Billy Rant.
Yeah, it's just a Billy rant for a half hour. We
That's
started
fine.
late. Let's see.
Yeah.
I'm gonna start like 2 minutes late. I think.
Yeah,
I started
you-
last minute.
You texted me at like 7:33 or 4 or something like
Yeah.
that. So you
I
within
did
5
all.
minutes.
I did all the last minute. I'm like, oh, I got this down pat, and then I was like, oh my god, I forgot. I didn't even know Billy's email because it doesn't show his email on the thing. So.
Yeah, that he tried texting me
The
on
worst
Steam
part
to,
is
to link.
I didn't make that email for you. No, I made you another email a long time ago. I was like, that would be bad if I made an email for you and I didn't know.
As soon as you did it, I kept refreshing because we were already over the time.
Yeah. Got more
Oh.
texts in.
Yeah, that's Jimmy again. Well, before we get to that, going back to video game stuff. Also, we were talking about Star Wars Battlefront earlier, but
So Larry was here.
I just want to, but that because it's more Star Wars oriented. But Mike, are you a Star Wars fan at all?
Give me a second. Losing audio.
Did you hear that, Sam?
Call it.
He says losing audio.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
His microphone's going out too, it sounds like.
Well, Sam, remember I was talking about video games, stuff like that earlier with Battlefront. There's actually another B game that's called Blood Bowl 2. They actually made 2 of these. You ever play Blood Bowl?
Nope.
Well, there's Blood Bowl, right? And as soon as I saw Blood Bowl 2 for sale, all I could think of is Blood Bowl. That's the first thing I saw was Blood Bowl. I was
Blood
like,
Bowl? Oh, good.
Yeah, because it's spelled the same.
No, it's
So
not.
it's B-O-W. The game is Blood, B-O-W-L.
Yeah. Bowels, B-O-W-E-L.
Oh, okay. Well, never mind then.
But I understand what you're saying.
I'm the only one that thought Blood Bowl.
Mike's so cute. Read. Or spell.
I can't read Mike's mic, and I can't read.
I wasn't perfect either. I mean, for the longest time, I didn't know surprise had an R in it. So.
Surprise. Or no, surprise.
No, I thought it was surprise, not surprise. I
Oh,
thought it was
okay.
surprise. Yeah.
Well, for the makers of Blood Bowl 2, sorry, your
No, go ahead.
my game is when I see your game, it's Blood Bowl. Moving on because I can't spell.
Yeah.
I wish Michael was here to make fun of me because it was exactly what he said. I can't read.
Here it is.
We already established that. So the news story of Blood Bowl 2, it's Blood Bowl 2. So there's product placement for Blood Bowl, which I totally almost ruined the name of their game. Sorry about that, Blood Bowl. I mean Bull. So anyways, moving on to the next thing.
What the hell is what is it though?
I actually didn't stop to look because I was just so appalled that I thought it was Blood
That's why it's
Bowl.
a semi-useless show.
That is true.
I've looked up news stories too. And be like, oh, I got a news story that I didn't read a sentence of, but I just saw the title. It's just,
When I'm on, it's mostly useless. So, but okay. So, anyways, there was some things that I segueing into some of the Reddit stuff that I was looking up. I guess Rob Lowe is on Reddit doing an AMA. Ask me anything.
yeah.
This is a part 2 for him, and I was looking up a couple things here and there, and not too many people know. Back in the day, obviously Rob Lowe's supposed to be like a pretty boy today, all that kind of stuff, right? So he was known for that. So that's why I think this is it's not a joke because it's a real thing, but I think it's kind of funny because he actually made the product to this name. He's doing for the second time his AMA, Ask Me Anything on Reddit, and he's promoting a product. It's men's grooming, Rob Lowe's Men's Grooming. So like the site is, when you click on it, it's got him like this, like in a supermodel type of pose, like his hair would be flowing in the breeze if they actually put a fan on it, and it's a bunch of men's grooming products specifically. So it was just like, I was like, oh, that's funny, because it's kind of, people think of a pretty boy anyways.
What would be a men's grooming product that's different than a woman's?
To me, it's exactly the woman's grooming products, except the thing is it's for men. Like, they'll just put men on it.
Yeah, I know.
Specifically.
You can buy the same shavers for legs and face, and
you
still get hair off skin.
It could be like that.
Pink, and one's just orange Bic or something.
I don't think this is more of a men's grooming product, but all right, Mike, the shaving. What's that shaving thing? Like, I never saw it before, but it's a thing that hooks onto your finger, and then you do your head with it.
Yeah, I've seen that before. Yeah.
I didn't know I thought you used it.
Mm-mm.
So what do you do?
I shave it with just like a regular face razor.
Oh shit! One time I saw it at Walmart, and I saw the little thing on there, and they had it specifically. Like, I was like, that's genius, because you don't have to like look in the mirror and like, for somebody that wants to do it or wants that as an option or whatever. It seems like it would contour more or something like that. So I thought, I'm profiling now. I feel bad. Mike, you have this.
No, I use a regular razor, but like that probably would work better. But now, like, I'm so used to doing it with a regular razor, I don't need a mirror.
Yeah, it's just The few times, believe it or not, I don't know if you ever saw me like that or whatever, Mike, but I shaved my head twice unsuccessfully.
Nice.
Yeah.
I remember you telling stories about it. I don't remember ever seeing it.
Yeah, I don't know if I or Sam told you stories.
Of course, I remember because I took a picture of it one time.
Right. Sam had a Polaroid camera, and I was bored one day, so I actually had, I was living with my parents still at the time, so it was yesterday. No, I'm just kidding.
That'd be me.
Well, that's you. Actually, yes. No, but I had a house coat on. I wasn't doing anything. And I guess I got bored and decided I needed a haircut, so I started out with the trimmer and just went buzz and buzzed it myself. I was like, big deal, I'll buzz it myself, do it nice and short. Fucked it all up. So I decided to try to shave it myself with a razor, and this was actually the second time I did it. The first time I had to have Dad finish it, and then I had to go to school like that, and it was just a total nightmare. It was bad. People were giving me a lot of strange looks. I was the only skinhead in my school. Even though I wasn't a skinhead, it's just that's what it was attributed to. It's like, oh, this kid's being rebellious and insta-racist and all kinds of stuff, because now I'm profiled. Oh, he had hair, now he turned himself into a skinhead. So that didn't go over very well in school. So the second time doing it, instead of waiting for Dad to come home and fix it, or have Sam fix it, I decided to do it myself. I took time on it, shaved it. I had Sam take a Polaroid picture of me in a house coat like this, completely bald. Like, I almost look like Fester, like Uncle Fester.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm in my house coat, I'm like this. Sam takes a picture of me like that. Dad we do the little whatever, and it turns out, and it was hilarious. And I said, Sam, when Dad comes home, give him this picture. And then I'm just going to jump out at the same pose when he looks at it, when he goes, what the fuck? So he gives it to Dad, and goes, and of course his face is all crickled, like, what the fuck? And then I jump out of the bathroom in the exact same pose after that, and he's just like, oh man, like, here we go again. He fucking went crazy again.
Yeah.
And of course, I have all kinds of craters and shit in my head from, my so-called friends from back in the day when we get into rock wars and beat each other with just throw things at each other. So I had mad craters in the back. So I could never do that anyways. It just is not a good scene. So anyways, there's that. Speaking of, there was a Kickstarter. It's Jimmy again.
I know he's texted me too.
Bald with the house robe open. Jesus Christ, he's contributing more to the show than when he's on it. There was a Kickstarter for the laser blade, or the laser razor is what it was. Anybody see this?
No.
Mm-mm.
Supposedly, and the only reason why I saw it, it was either a Kickstarter or something like a Kickstarter program.
GoFundMe or something like that.
GoFundMe, I think it might have been. I looked it up, and they showed a picture of it, which was probably just the concept art, because according to the GoFundMe type of product making site that they got their funding from, I think it was only like $100-something thousand that they needed, or it may have been $300-something thousand, and they exceeded that. They actually made $4 million plus.
Yeah.
On this program to make the blade laser, or whatever the hell it is. It's a shaving blade laser thing for face shaving. So I'm not exactly sure how it was supposed to be, but by the concept, what I assume was the concept art, you get the gist of it. It's just like a laser, and it shave your face. It was supposed to be safe. It's supposed to come to a certain point. Obviously, if you touch it to your skin too long, it's not supposed to burn you, so there's probably a thing like a pressure-sensitive thing and stuff like that. They didn't actually discontinue the program because of it being fake. They discontinued it because there was no blueprints or evidence that it was going to come to fruition anytime soon.
So it was fake.
No, they claimed that they didn't take their account off for funding because of it being fake. They said that there was no significant time frame of when it's going to come out, but there was proof. There was enough proof and enough patent behind it that it could actually be possible. So even though it's $4 million, obviously like $4 million or $3,800,000 over their mark, which they had plenty of funding to make it happen, they discontinued it because of the time frame. Like, it was supposed to come out at a certain time. They felt that people that funded it would not be happy with the fact that it wouldn't come out anytime soon. So they're saying it can still happen.
So what happened with the money?
They still have it, obviously, but if Kickstarter's just like, screw you, we're canceling your account, these people still have to make it happen. I mean, you have $4 million of somebody's money that really is behind it.
If it's Kickstarter, they actually don't. Kickstarter never gets the money. It goes directly to the creator.
There's a certain percentage supposedly that they get, from what I heard.
Yeah, but I mean, like, as far as like most
because there's processing fees and stuff.
Yeah, but I mean, all the processing goes through Amazon and PayPal.
Okay.
So yeah, Kickstarter is just a website to kind of post on there, and I think they get a cutback, but
they have to, because I heard that there was a percentage.
Or might just pay a fee up front or something.
Yeah, something like that.
But they get something.
But as far as like something just being a scam, you actually have to get the authorities involved, and it's still illegal to do it, even if you do have to get the money back if you don't make it. I read about one that happened recently. Someone actually did get in trouble because there's so many that were just like, oh, maybe like they got like $50,000 and they didn't make the product, whatever. But then like there's one that was like way more expensive. I wish I had the story. I don't know what it's offhand, but they actually got in trouble, and then they actually charged them like twice that, and then they give all that back. Yeah, they actually got fined like twice that. The people that didn't make the product. Yeah, so it actually is. Yeah. It's not supposed to be a donation site. It's clear. It's not supposed to be donations. It's supposed to be you're buying something that's supposed to be
a product essentially.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. So they do it.
And I don't. I mean, I know the general gist, but do you know when they do that, do they get a share in the company typically?
No.
No, it's just
no. Yeah, because I've done a couple of them. What happens is you're basically buying the product before it's done. Is what it basically is.
So you would get a free, if let's say that it was the laser razor, you would get a laser razor when it was
ready. If you pay a certain amount, like if you do like a $5 thing, then that's considered just a donation. But if you do like, let's say the thing costs $50 or something, you pay $50, then you get the product. So you get the product. So it's not like what is it, like investment kind of thing.
Right.
It is still just buying the product before it's out. They're basically gauging the interest in it.
Is it clear when you donate what you have to donate to get a product? Because something like the laser razor, I would assume if you did it beforehand, you're probably going to get it at a cheaper than when it comes to market.
Yeah, it depends on how they do it. It'll say right on there like you pay this much, and we'll just say thank you. Basically, it says, and then it says pay this much, you'll get this. Pay this much, you'll get this plus this. They have like extra.
Gotcha.
So yeah, and they tell you right up, whatever, and then a lot of times it's cheaper, but sometimes it isn't. But
yeah,
usually it's cheaper than it comes out. Like they'll be like, that's you kind of like, okay, you did buy it before it's even exists, so we'll give you like $20 off, basically.
Right. Well, and if it's something that blows up, like something that there's a huge demand for, you're probably going to get it cheaper than what the actual market price is.
Yeah.
Too, I would think anyway.
Yep.
Yeah, I think that going back to the GoFundMe, I think that they should make money because it literally would be the GoFundMe product that never makes money. I mean, and they're there making people money or getting products going. So, I mean, GoFundMe is a product itself.
Yeah.
I think they make money.
They get to make money somewhere. I think probably a kickback.
Advertising.
They gotta get a kickback. I'm trying to think.
Something somewhere, yeah.
But the money does go straight to. I'm trying to think how they get. They probably a fee, like Michael said, because I know that I paid before it. It actually goes right to the person that's making it, like instantly.
Yeah.
It doesn't go through Kickstarter at all.
Yeah. So they probably had to pay like $100 registration fee times all of those. I'm sure there's hundreds and hundreds of or probably thousands of people register a day for a GoFundMe account.
Yeah, probably something like that.
I wonder if maybe they take a percentage of what your goal is. So it's 1% of your goal. So if your goal was $100,000, they would just take $10.
Yeah, I'm gonna look it up.
If it was $100,000, they would take.
Okay, I'm actually reading it now. If your product is successfully funded, the following fees will be collected from your funding total.
Okay.
So when it gets funded, only for products, so you can just put up there for free. But if it gets funded,
so when you hit your goal, I would assume.
Whatever the total funding is in the end, when the campaign ends, because you can the campaign can continue beyond the goal. So when that campaign ends, which is usually like it depends, sometimes 30 months or 30 days, sometimes 40 days, 60 days, they get 5%. It says 3 to 5%.
Yeah.
Okay. Wait, hang on. Kickstarter's 5% fee, and then payment processing fees between 3 and 5%. All right. If there's no funding successful, then there's no fees. Okay.
And then those people have probably refunded their money.
Yeah. If it's not successful, actually, it never takes the money out till it's successful.
Gotcha.
You just back it, and then once the campaign ends, that's what I did. Like as soon as I put. I donate this much. You're basically pledging that much.
Yeah.
You're not really giving that much. Then when the campaign ended about a day or two later, then it yanked it out of my account.
Gotcha.
So it doesn't even take money until the thing's done.
And how did that sex change operation go after all that, Sam?
It's pretty good.
Oh, okay.
Got
a cold. You got a cold.
Jimmy says 5% on GoFundMe too. So they're both Kickstarter and GoFundMe are the same.
Take 5%.
Yep.
Yeah. So I mean that's pretty good. Think about how many things are on there that are $100,000 or more. So that's five grand a pop.
There's ones that are and there's ones that are in the millions too.
Right.
Just like one of those is like a ton of $100,000s.
Right.
Like let's see.
A million is $50,000. Yeah.
Let's see.
Sam, while you're looking stuff up, Jimmy wants us to talk about Burger King green poop. Can you see what that story is?
Yeah, I already have it. Do it for
okay.
the aftermath. Yeah.
Yeah, because we'll have you explain that to us.
Yeah. So yeah, Star Citizen was $2,134,374.
Well, we're on it. Look up what the largest amount raised is, and what the product was. I think it's got to be pretty interesting.
I think that game is actually the most crowdfunded product ever made. Star Citizen, it's a video game. It actually got to 40 million because they got 2 million on Kickstarter. Then they continued, and technically like pre-ordering it counted towards the thing. So it ended up getting to like 40 or 50 million now just for a game that's not even going to be out for years now. So
wow.
Yeah,
Could you imagine?
I bet it's never
being
come
a
out
developer?
too. It's the largest.
There's so many things. Like if you're a game developer, you can go on GoFundMe, and then you could be behind a product and then say, all right, well, they're obviously making $40 million. I'm going to give them a call, and I'm just going to work for them now.
Right.
You can actually see your career in its specialty too, online, and then go for it. And if that doesn't work, then the next crowdfunding thing, 30 million instead of 40 million or whatever.
Star Citizen,
whatever they do,
isn't even the closest to the biggest on Kickstarter though. The biggest is
right now.
No.
Right now.
Right now, the biggest is Pebble Time, $20 million, 4,000, which is 4,067% of the goal. They had a goal of 500,000, so it's 4,067% of the goal of what they wanted it. So,
what does it look like? It is? Is it just like a?
It's a watch. Let's see, Pebble Time. Talk about. I haven't heard of it, but.
Well, speaking of social media campaigns and launching things, they're trying to relaunch Metalocalypse back in the air.
Really?
Or to get Death Clock back in the air, I guess,
right.
because fans of the band, fake band. But the website's called metalocalypsenow.com. You can go to it and read it and see what it's all about, and probably I'm sure that there's a funding thing there, or something like that. Either that or
a
it's just a
link.
petition. Yeah, a link that where you could just vote for it, because I'm sure that they probably they see enough people are going to watch it. Wouldn't that be some shit? You go to make something, you don't make any money on it, and you go to produce it, and everybody backed it, but then they don't end up watching it. They were just supporting the backing of it.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, it's just a group effort to do something that's like, I'd watch it, but I got to mow the lawn or something stupid, And they don't even end up backing it. I think a lot of the social media things are like that sometimes. Like, there's a big following, and this should be like this, but that has nothing to do with technology. People were like that forever. Sometimes people just protested to protest. That was the whole point in picketing and getting the group behind it. It had the appearance of effect, and then people were just fooled. And obviously, it was an illusion. Like people that would be on strike and things like that. And the same thing applies with social media and stuff like that.
Yeah, but the protests get less important the more comfortable people feel. If people feel comfortable, they just get bored, and then they just start protesting random stuff because they're bored.
And there's no meaning behind it, and it doesn't go anywhere.
30, 40, 50, 70 years ago, they actually had stuff to protest. They weren't comfortable. There were problems.
Yeah. People were starving and trying to feed their families and couldn't get work. Like it really meant something.
On a larger scale.
Wars with drafts and stuff.
Right.
More of a moral type of thing. Yeah, exactly. A lot of morals involved, rather than just worrying about what is or isn't a Ponzi scheme, or trying to shut banks down when it's not going to happen with a group of people outside of the thing. We're going to shut these banks down. Money hungry mongers. It's like you had people that were starving, people that had disease back in the day, no money was being made. And then when money's being made, you're going out and standing in front of them and going, you know what, fuck this, money's being made, people are working. It's like you want to shut sure, I understand it's a system and stuff like that, but it's not like, it's not a small scale anymore of small towns supporting each other, knowing each other. It's bigger than that, and that's why we have counties. It's not like you have a little square where people are helping each other out. You have neighbors. I'm lucky enough to have good neighbors and stuff like that. But in some areas you have neighbors where it's just like they won't even wave to you or say hi to you, let alone thinking you're gonna get a cup of sugar borrowed out like back in the day. People live in apartments. They go right next door, knock, and I borrow a cup of sugar. You give me a cup of sugar, whatever the hell it is.
Borrow some weed.
Yeah. Some weed, I bring a 6-pack, you smoke me out. It's not like that. So it doesn't work the same.
Well, you get shitty aftermath time?
Yeah, I gotta head out. I got some work I gotta do.
All right, sounds good.
See you boys.
See you later.
Good discussions.
Oh, hell yeah. Before we go into shitty aftermath, real quick, I do want to plug one show that I thought was great, and I watched a couple of his shows, but of course it's uncomfortable because it's Norm Macdonald. I think it's Norm Macdonald Live, and it's on the podcast network. I probably am getting that wrong, but obviously if somebody typed in Norm Macdonald Live, they'd be able to find it. But there was one show in particular where he had David Spade on there. It's pretty funny, and you know how David Spade is kind of quippy and like the mumble thing under his breath, and you got to kind of listen into what he says. It's like perfect David Spade, perfect Norm Macdonald. It's like an old school thing, and they bounce ideas, or not ideas, but some comical things back and forth, and it's pretty funny. So it's something you got to really have to check out. Moving past that, another thing is you have with the new Ghostbusters movie. I was reading this on Reddit. Rick Moranis? They did a lot of cameos, and or they're going to do cameos in the new. It's working again. They do the cameos in Ghostbusters. Like most of the people are in it, with the exception of people that have died. There is one person that is alive for sure that didn't want to do it, and it was Rick Moranis. And the new Ghostbuster movies is supposed to involve, when it comes out, female casts.
Yeah.
He doesn't have anything against that or anything like that, but he was talking about the reason why he was going to do filming for a day for like a 1-minute walk-on. So he was supposed to be the guy that, he wasn't really a main Ghostbuster right away and stuff like that. In the other movies, he became one, I guess, in a way. And was it part 2? I can't remember.
I don't remember. I haven't seen him in a long time.
Yeah, I actually can't remember either, as many times as I've seen it. But anyways, he was significant, but not like one of the main Ghostbusters right off the bat, like when they first got their Ghostbusting franchise going.
Yeah.
So, but he was still a main character, being the gatekeeper or the whatever the hell he was in there. Anyways, the whole point of the story is he basically was saying, I'm not going to go film for a day to have a 1-minute role on something I did 30 years ago. Now, Rick Moranis is very picky as it is. He was picky about that, but I don't think he'd ever do anything revamped, obviously, except for maybe, I don't know if he did the last Honey, I Shrunk, whatever the hell it may have been.
We Shrunk the Pets or something. Who knows?
Yeah, who knows how many more. So he got out of that before it got bad. So yeah, he's very picky with his roles, because if you think about it, he's had very weird roles, including Little Shop of Horrors and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But anyways, yeah, that's that. I thought that was kind of interesting. Maybe it wasn't. So anyways, okay.
I'm just playing with something over here while you talk about it.
I bet you are. Once again, I always have that camera shut off for some reason. The under the table camera.
Yep.
So speaking of under the table, where farts are mostly, going into the shitty aftermath, what's that Burger King story?
All right.
So shitty aftermath.
I don't know anything about it. No, I was kidding.
No story here. Nothing to see here. Go home.
Making a Halloween burger and has a black bun.
Ew.
Yeah, but it's just food coloring.
Yeah, but still, you would never know if there was mold in it or anything.
I mean, you always got to think about it. Like, half the shit we drink is just fucking food coloring. Like a Gatorade fruit punch, which I just drank today. That's why I can bring it up. It's probably like red food coloring in it and stuff. But anyway, yeah, it's a black burger. Ew.
Mm-hmm.
For Halloween, because I guess black is scary.
Mm-hmm. Matter of opinion. Maybe in some neighborhoods, I don't know.
Jesus.
I'm sure white's scary in other neighborhoods.
Oh, for sure.
Could be.
Especially in the German neighborhood in the 40s.
Oh, okay. I wasn't thinking that, but okay. Wow. So anyways, your German burger story.
Yeah, the German burger. It's a Halloween Whopper.
German burger.
And stop.
Welcome to German burger. How may I take your order? Would you like to order the number 9? With a side of coleslaw.
Like some German fries.
Anyways.
That's in that story. No, what it does is if you eat it, it's black, but I guess I don't know, like you have a combination of colors, but the green out of that black food coloring.
Führer burger.
What?
Führer burger.
Fjoha? I never know how to pronounce it.
Oh God.
But anyway, it turns your poop green.
Okay.
When you eat
Well,
the Whopper,
that's shitty after.
that was an unintended side effect. But the Whopper's supposed to be black, but when you poop, it turns your poop green. To get its normal pale burger bun Halloween ready, Burger King has a bunch of artificial colors, namely blue, red, yellow, and caramel color or caramel, according to the company's website.
Depending if you're from Germany, caramel.
And that combination makes it look black until it gets your intestines. And once the food is in your intestines, it absorbs most of the food colorings in the bun.
So it's like
Yeah, it takes the blue out is basically what's happening.
the all-berry Captain Crunch that we keep. Gives you
Yeah.
blue dingleberries.
Yes, because you blue dingleberries. If you're old enough to have dingleberries.
Yeah. If you're old,
Don't you need ball hairs?
you have to upgrade ball hairs. If your ball hairs connect to your butt hairs, maybe.
Of course they do. Who just doesn't?
Well, I use the laser razor, so I don't have dingleberries.
I always think of dingleberry. I always think the ones between the balls and the ass.
I think of the traveling dingleberries.
The traveling dingleberries? Is that a band?
I think it actually was.
Really?
Yeah. I think it was back in the day.
Jerry Dingleberry.
Sometimes you get dingleberries from eating the Führer burger.
And they'll be green. Well,
Oh, God. Well, I wanted to end this on a funny note, but
that'll never happen.
here's something funny that'll never happen. Viewers to the show.
We have 0 viewers right now, but I think Jimmy's still on. It just keeps going in and out.
Here's a funny thing. The show being successful.
Yeah. Here's a good joke. A semi-useless show. That's it.
Nice. All right. Well, I'm gonna stop the broadcast because just because. Well,
See y'all next week.
I'll see you schmoes on the next one. Thanks for joining us for a semi-useless show. Please join us again next week
At 7:30.
Yep, we got another viewer, and he's just joining on just to see us leave. So you're going to see us at Tuesday at 7:30, semi-useless show. Maybe we'll actually have everybody here next week.
Yeah.
If not, then then fuck it.
All right. Hail
See you on the
Shitler.
next show.
Hail Shitler.
Hail Shitler. Green poop.
Yep.
Gouda bee.
Goody.